How's it going, you guys? AZ Plyo 21 back again with another pay-per-view in our UFC save here in WMMA 5. And here today we've got UFC 301 Edwards versus Chimaev. Of course, a big pay-per-view here today. We've got two title fights on tap for you here today, live from Abu Dhabi, Western Asia. It should be a good one. Welterweight and featherweight championships on the line. We also got Makhachev versus Poirier, Blanchfield versus Fior, and then Alex Gustafsson in action as well. Kind of looking forward. Let's see what we've got on tap for you guys moving forward. Tai Tuivasa versus Tom Aspinall at heavyweight. Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's going to be a crazy, crazy fight. Got Michael Chandler versus Jalen Turner. Got Brian Ortega taking on Josh Emmett. We've got UFC 302 Prochazka versus Lewis. That's not shaping up to be the greatest pay-per-view card, but Prochazka's not willing to fight anybody at light heavyweight. After that, we are going to have Murzakanov versus Ankalaev at light heavyweight. Patricio Pitbull now facing Arnold Allen. It was supposed to be Sadiq Yusuff. He broke his foot, so Arnold Allen will step in. It's still I think number 2 versus number 6 fight. So that should be a good one. We also got Merab versus Henry Cejudo on that card as well. Alex Pantoja taking on Muhammad Makayev over in New Mexico. Kevin Holland versus Neil Magny. And then Sean O'Malley defending his bantamweight championship against Corey Sandhagen. That's UFC 303 live from the Loop 303. That's where I'm at over in Arizona. Brandon Moreno also defending his flyweight title against Brandon Royval. And then Thug Rose Namajunas defending the strawweight crown against Tatiana Suarez. We've also got the return of Ronda Rousey as she takes on Kayla Harrison at featherweight. And then Brennan Loughnane makes his UFC featherweight debut against the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung. That should be a very, very good card. After this one, of course, we'll have the big stream where I book forward a whole month's worth of fights. Appreciate you guys as always, whether it's on YouTube or Twitch, however you guys watch me. But let's go ahead and take a look. As you can see there, Sadiq Yusuff, medium foot injury, not bueno. He is out of Pitbull versus Yusuff, which is now Pitbull versus Allen. Let's take a look at those rankings after our last fight card, which of course was Gastelum versus Neal. Jeff Neal getting a big win over Kelvin Gastelum, only 700 in attendance. That's no bueno. At heavyweight, we have Hassan Graham coming in at number 14. Junior Talfa also ranked now. Light heavyweight, Martin Hamlet in at number 13. At middleweight, we've got a couple of people in there. Kelvin Gastelum in the top 12. Albert Duraev, Rob Wilkinson, all in there, even though Rob just lost his fight. Don't get that. Welterweight, Jeff Neal up to number 2, interestingly enough, after that big win over Kelvin. A lot of other people moving up because Kelvin is no longer in the welterweight division. Colby Covington, Aroslav Amosov, and Jason Jackson moving down amongst others. Lightweight, nothing going on apart from Bobby Green moving up a couple spots. Featherweight, Nathaniel Wood moves up quite a bit. Also got bantamweight, Jonathan Martinez into number 7, and Chris Gutierrez all the way down to number 20. Not much at flyweight or featherweight. Bantamweight, Julia Adelino in at number 6 after winning 1 fight. Melissa Dixon into the top 10 as well. Flyweight, nothing going on, and strawweight, nothing going on. Again, huge pay-per-view on tap for you guys. Let's get it going. UFC 301 Edwards versus Chimaev. Live from Fight Island over in Abu Dhabi, we have Orichi Lang taking on Naoki Inoue in the flyweight division, and it is Inoue getting the big win in round number 2. He is now 3-1 in the UFC. Ismail Bonfim taking on Mark Madsen, the Olympian. Madsen in real life just retired, I believe, but he gets the unanimous decision victory here today. He is now 5-2 in his UFC career, doing quite well for himself. Gary Tonin taking on Alexander Hernandez. I believe this is his UFC debut. Yep, the UFC debut for Gary Tonin. At 155 against the Alexander Hernandez, and he does get a submission victory. Fantastic fight in round number 2. Gary with a big win. Carlos Leal taking on Roberto Soldic. This guy coming out of KSW is a big threat. His UFC debut here today, he was the one champion for a little bit before losing to Avasov. Takes on Carlos Leal, and it is Leal knocking out RoboCop here today in his UFC debut. Leal proving to be quite the formidable opponent himself, and he's now 2-0 in his short UFC tenure. Moving right along, Magomedov taking on Punahele Soriano at middleweight. I believe the young man from Hawaii is Punahele Soriano. Going to be rooting for him in a little bit, as it is Magomedov getting the unanimous decision victory over Storytime here today. Jun Young Park taking on Fabian Edwards, also at middleweight. Leon Edwards' younger brother, and he will be fighting on this card as well. And Fabian Edwards gets a big knockout. 15 seconds left to go in round number 1. He gets it done. And his big brother going to be going at it in the main event. Carlos Olberg taking on Vitor Petrino in the light heavyweight division. A couple of good Brazilian fighters here, as it's Olberg getting the decision victory, the 10th win of his career. I don't know why I just said he was a Brazilian, because he is a New Zealand fighter. Trains with Izzy. Liz Tracy takes on Priscilla Cachoeira at 125. Cachoeira, veteran of the Octagon, I guess you can say, as she gets the win, unanimous decision over the Titan Tracy here today. Jamie Lynn Horth Wessels taking on Meatball Molly McCann in a prelim here at 125, and it's Horth Wessels getting the split decision victory here today. She's now 4-0 in her UFC career. Win over Agapova, and now a big one over Molly McCann. Estela Nunes taking on Bruna Brasil in our final prelim of the afternoon. Brasil, a big favorite, but it is Estela Nunes who gets the win, the 10th of her career, and her record now just became Bruna's record, as she is now 9-4-1. But she is now an even 500-3-3 in her UFC career, Miss Nunes. Main card underway. Give me your $70 as Alexander Gustafsson is taking on Alonzo Menafield. In the light heavyweight division, we can see Gustafsson, veteran of the Octagon, future Hall of Famer, got a big win over OSP recently. And on the other side, you have Alonzo Menafield, number 17, with a win over Laurinus Urbanavicius recently. And it is Alexander Gustafsson, the 20th win of his career. A little bit of a resurgence for the Mauler as he gets a big win over Menafield here today. We have a big-time fight in the flyweight division, as it is Erin Blanchfield, a huge favorite, taking on Manon Fior. Now, in real life, Manon Fior just dominated Blanchfield, and she'll probably be fighting for the flyweight championship at some point. But here, Erin Blanchfield looks like she might have the sauce. We see that she beat Valentina, then lost to Grasso for the championship. And on the other side, you got Manon Fior, who is just waiting to get a title shot on her end, as it is Manon Fior with the TKO victory due to a cut. So 2 straight losses there for Blanchfield. Not the best, but Manon Fior finally going to get a taste of UFC title opportunity. Brings us to a huge fight. Islam Makhachev taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier. These guys have never fought. Dustin coming off 2 straight wins, Chandler and Gaethje. And on the other side, you have Islam Makhachev, who, fresh off of losing his lightweight championship to Beneil Dariush, who then in turn lost it to Alexander Volkanovski. So this is his first fight since July of last year. So a good 8 months of inactivity for Islam as he takes on Dustin Poirier here today. And it is Makhachev getting the big unanimous decision victory here today. Wants to get his title back, surely, and doesn't have very much to say. Thanks God and praises Poirier. Our first of 2 title fights. It is for the featherweight championship of the world. We have here the featherweight and the lightweight champion of the UFC in Alexander Volkanovski. You can see right there, beat Yair to defend his title, won the title from Beneil, all 50-45. This man is unstoppable, it seems. Takes on Movsar Evloev, 8-0 in the UFC, wins over Bryce Mitchell and then Brian Ortega. This man has certainly earned his shot at the title. Love to see it. And here we have our first title shot of the afternoon. Volkanovski and Evloev as they go at it. Evloev is a huge underdog, but we are certain to see what happens here. Not much going on here in the first minute of round number 1. in guard position now. Trying to get the fight on over to the ground. Beautiful technique that time. Round one comes to a close, and apparently Evloev came out on top there. Love to see it. Evloev shooting in for a takedown. Can't quite get it. Nope, cannot get the takedown. Once again, Volkanovski gonna have to get in there, you know, just pound away. Maybe got to avoid those takedowns from the Sambo fighter. And again, takedown for Evloev on Volkanovski, keeping him guessing. Tight clinch. Volkanovski pinned against the cage, going for another takedown. He gets it, gets to side control. Evloev having good success here against the featherweight champion. Time runs up, and that is number 2. And Evloev might be up 20-18. You already know that Volkanovski can end it in one punch, one kick, though. And unable to get the takedown this time is Movsar. Again, trying to go for the takedown. Cannot get it. Looking for a trip here. He gets it. Side control immediately. The punches seemingly not doing too much. Into the clinch. Time runs out on number 3, and that's the third round for Evloev, who needs to get going in a hurry. And there we go. A TKO victory. I have mentioned that he's got to get it going. He must have heard me, because there you go. Goes for a takedown attempt. Sprawls brilliantly, pushing Evloev down to his hands and knees. Pounds away with right hands. And Volkanovski just a beautiful sprawl. And Evloev was unable to really answer those punches. And Volkanovski is still your featherweight champion. As we head to our main event of the evening, for the welterweight championship of the world, Leon Rocky Edwards saw his younger brother Fabian get a victory earlier on today. Takes on the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev. Chimaev 7-0 in the UFC. Big win over Kamaru Usman his last time out, as he takes on Rocky right now. Leon with a big defense over Colby Covington back in September. That was month 9. That's a good 4, 5, 6 months ago in game. So really needing a big win here, Rocky Edwards, but Chimaev looking for UFC gold as we are underway with our main event of the evening. Edwards is a huge favorite, but I feel like Chimaev is going to win. I can just feel it in my bones. Already a takedown. Chimaev just smothering him in the first round. Smothering him, tries to pass guard, passes guard, scramble begins. Round 1 comes to a close. Chimaev wins the first round. And yeah, people are saying they didn't think Chimaev would start out this well, but why? Chimaev has shown no reason to doubt him. Takedown is completed. Going for another takedown is Leon. Trying to take him down again. He cannot get Chimaev down. 1 minute left to go in round number 2. Edwards cannot get Chimaev down. Just from his aggression alone, he might have won that round. And yep, that's what they think as well. Tied up at 1 apiece. Back underway. Muay Thai clinch. Chimaev able to kind of grapple out of it. Edwards able to push him up against the cage. Set up a suplex. Can't get it going. Chimaev had been able to get a suplex on Rion. That would have been lights. Trying to wrestle him down. Chimaev can't get him down. Minute left to go in the round. Pinning Edwards to the cage. Little dirty boxing as round 3 comes to a close. I think Chimaev might have won it. We enter the championship rounds, with it possibly being 2-1. Not too many punches being thrown here. Can't get the mounts. Trying to get the hooks in. Chimaev, he gets it! Unbelievable. Round number 4, Khamzat Chimaev gets in a rear naked choke, and he is your new welterweight champion of the world. Huge underdog apparently coming into today, and UFC welterweight champion. Unbelievable, a great moment in his career. Here is your champion, Khamzat Chimaev. 12,000 in attendance here in Abu Dhabi. Made about $1 million off of pay-per-view. Popularity increases all around. You love to see it. Did we have any fantastic fights? We did. Gary Tonin and Alexander Hernandez had fight of the night. Performance bonus. Let's give it to Estela Nunes. And yeah, let's give it to Fabian Edwards. His older brother was not able to get it done, but he sure did. A nice $50K for him. And that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. A nice $3 million basically in some, revenue is always nice to see. I'm AZ Plyo 21, and hey, I will see you guys at the fights.